It is Jomo Cosmos Ilidia against Baroka in the first round of the Nedbank Cup. Are we on for an upset here tonight at the Peter Mokaba Stadium? Welcome everyone back here to Polokwane. A lovely night for football. Nice and warm in this part of the world at this time of the year. And although we've got a fairly small crowd, I must say, William Shongwe, they have been entertained with this big pitch, providing lots of space for some decent football tonight.
I guess people maybe didn't expect this exciting level of football, but they'll be disappointed with what they were able to miss. Great football all around. It's a pity that the crowd in the stands are not coming through in as fast, because they definitely does make a difference. If there's fans, I'm sure they'll be very excited. The game will be even more exciting with fans. But hey, regardless of that, Cosmos has made a spectacle of this. Can they keep it up? We wait for the next 45 minutes.
So confirmation of that change, no surprise. Banda off with a hamstring injury and Khutjane on in his place. An experienced player, Khutjane, and he'll slot in at that fullback position.
And then Semenya will drift a little bit more central. The position that I think in the last 3 games that he played, and beautifully so.
This is Gebhardt now. First touch a little strong from the Namibian, but he does manage to keep that in play. No changes on the Cosmos side. In all red here tonight. This is Guy. And that's an errant pass, forcing Orbi to play it forward. Now, time to turn. Long-range shots off target, and well, maybe the instructions from Wedson Irenda are to go for goal from the offset, and Dickens certainly needed no second invitation.
It's a decent shot. It had the power, only missing a little bit of the direction as it turns. And maybe Chiwe might have had it sorted out. If there's one thing that maybe I can advise, or should you, or anybody out there that can advise BARVJC2 about his team, yes, he can keep the red color as the main color of the jersey, but maybe the color of the numbers, Mark, listen, I'm sure he can improve them a little bit, because they're very difficult to see.
It's always been a problem with Cosmos. They look better in white anyway in the old days. The white and blue that was their first choice. Now, good turn here. And some solid defending as well.
I'm glad that you concur with me, because I was thinking along the way, should I say this? Because people will say maybe it's because I'm aging here, my eyesight is getting challenged a bit, but at least you can concur with me. So we're in this together, Chris.
As always. Yeah, it's Khutjane. Headed away from Lebai. Shot on the left foot is well over the top, but appeals for a corner from Ndatsane, not that convincing, and certainly not heeded by the match officials.
And of course, looking at Chiwe once again now, I think of who's his goalkeeper coach, Chawe. Is his nickname. Avril Paddy. Well, he's almost the size of Jomo now, if you know him to be, or how he was like in the past. He's really picked up some weight.
Well, he was a long-time goalkeeper for Cosmos, Avril Paddy.
Had a stint at Orlando Pirates for 1 season and was back at Cosmos immediately.
So Ndatsane this time with the opportunity to deliver the set piece. You can see he's strapped up his wrist there. He fell awkwardly on it in the first half. It's Hanamub in the wall, and Bokoma. No one to pick it up, but in fact it evaded Umukoro as well. He was trying to get his head onto it. It looks as if Baroka had been given that, so the referee felt there was a little touch from one of the Cosmos players on the way through. No, he's ordered a retake of this. Maybe the whistle hadn't gone, or he was still sorting things out. It's still a disappointing ball. Second time around. Pachi was the player who knocked that free kick in far too long. There'll be a chance to clear here. This is Kizito Obi, comes from Owerri in Nigeria. Played in Denmark, in Venezuela and Panama. Just needs Mongolia to add to his list of exotic destinations. There's a real journeyman footballer. Effort is wide, struck with some power by Ndatsane.
I think we've seen a bit more of those type of shots taken from some range. What does it say about Cosmos defense? Are they that good enough that they're not allowing Baroka to penetrate? That could be something to think about. But sometimes it looks a little bit desperate on Baroka to be trying those type of attempts from some range.
Now here's a chance for Cosmos to get a second. A little more calmness from Masuku, and that might well have been the case.
That's all he needed, Christian. I don't think he was aware that there was nobody closest to him. He still thought maybe he's being followed and is being chased, and there's pressure.
The pace as well was brilliant.
And just another touch, just put it down, control it, and then you face to face with the goalkeeper. He had all the time in the world.
Well, that was an excellent opportunity for Cosmos to take a 2-0 lead and really put Baroka on the back foot here.
11 attempts, sorry, Christian. 11 attempts for Cosmos.
Well, it might be something they could come to regret later on. Here come the home side now, the men in green. Remember, they were giant killers in this competition themselves. Now they are the big team struggling. Dickens goes down, no penalty. Crowd are appealing more than the players. Good early ball in again. Still Baroka with skills on the edge of the area, but no way through. Hanamub with a clearance. Just two players from each side, plus the goalkeeper in the Cosmos half. It's all Baroka surging forward, a little too close to the keeper on that occasion.
That's exactly my point here. I feel like in the way that Chippa United, there's a little bit of a rush in the way that they get into the front foot, but also the decision making, it seems to be a rushed one when there are better options to still maybe spray the ball a little bit wider, create a little bit of width, stretch the Cosmos defense. That is not happening enough.
Now Cosmos again, bit of space in the midfield. I think they're enjoying this big pitch at the Peter Mokaba Stadium. Fitness though is going to be a little bit of a issue as the game continues.
It was my worry that this is a little bit too open a field than they used to. And yes, they're enjoying it right now, but it's a long distance to cover. And yes, it might be an issue come around the 85th minute.
Obi, he's got support inside from Guy. Obi again. And looking for a quick little burst to get them through. Cut out, but one back again. Now Mahaka, he's got pace, gets past one challenge. That surely must be a card. What's the referee going to do here? A little bit of a cynical challenge committed by Ledwaba. Sien Ledwaba, you might remember, played for Highlands Park in the top flight. And he helped them to win the NFD last season, although didn't see as much game time as he did when he helped Chipper United previously win the NFD. So, second change. Chinyengetere from Zimbabwe is on for Tsidiso Pachi. New signing in the January transfer window is the Zimbabwean. Comes highly rated from the Premier Soccer League in Zimbabwe. He's from the champions FC Platinum, who missed him against Orlando Pirates in their Champions League tie in Bulawayo just a few weeks ago.
And if he's playing at that level, it brings a Champions League experience, CAF Champions League experience, and that is massive for any team to be able to have a player playing at that level. And in fact, I think Zimbabwe as a country has contributed so much into South African football as far as the quality of players that they're bringing through. So I won't be surprised if he lives up to expectation.
Kuchani, well over the top. And you're never going to put any money on him striking the target anyway. You very rarely see these days players pushing forward, making that much space and then banging it on target.
Bushi Malloy, the assistant coach to Nyirenda, formerly at TUT University, or TUT, obviously playing in the Varsity Cup. That's where he gained his experience. Tell you, a long seventh of the game for TUT. From the days of Thomas Marikhache at Supersport United, he was there with TUT.
He's done well. Try and get this ball back. Now, three players in the middle here. No way through there for Baroque. He has a chance for a quick counter if Cosmos can get this forward swiftly enough. They've got pace. Masuka's got to time his run. And it was a bit slow in coming from young Kakana, who with all his talent is looking a bit tired now, and maybe the decision-making a little on the poor side. There's quite a few Cosmos players walking now, just trying to catch their breath as we head towards the hour mark. That was knocked back for the goalkeeper, who does very well to keep it in play. Chipizeze, another Zimbabwean. Here's a quick question for you on the subject of Zimbabweans, William. Well, not so much a question, but maybe an opinion from you. Best Zimbabwean goalkeeper we had in our league over the years?
Man, I'll have to think long and hard.
Anyone that particularly sticks out? The most famous Zimbabwean to play in goal in South Africa was, of course, Bruce Krobler. He was at Durban City or Durban United in the old days. What about Jaffet Parutsa, Bloemfontein Celtic?
Oh, certainly, yes. I remember Jaffet was the number 2 to Bruce Krobler for quite some time before he took that number 1 spot himself. They called him the short cat. But remember Gift Mutsaza at Hellenic?
Yes. Any more names? Welcome on Twitter. So Kakana's race is run. 20-year-old on debut here has made a good impression, but
yes, the legs are gone.
90 minutes is not yet within his reach. He'll play just short of 60, and it'll be Mube who comes on in his place. He was in the lineup last week. Key striker for Cosmos.
And there's also Umazia, by the way, on the bench, who's another player. He's one of those that would have remained from last season.
Nelson Mandura is the first contribution we've got to Zimbabwean goalkeepers who played in South Africa. He was more a backup goalkeeper in Mamelodi Sundowns.
It's true. And then he ended up his career at Bidvest, or should I say at Wits University before they were known as Bidvest.
Still 0-0, Maccabi and the Magic from the second and the third tiers of South African football. That's the other Nedbank Cup tie this evening at Dobsonville. And of course you would have heard that at half-time AmaZulu were up against the Mamelodi Sundowns at Loftus. It's still 1-0 to AmaZulu. Tebogo Langeman's own goal separating the two sides. Chance tonight for Sundowns to actually go top of the table if they win by 2 clear goals. But they will need some work still in the final 30 minutes to achieve that. Yeah, we are approaching the hour mark. Another injury break. I think we're going to have a few stoppages now as we head towards the 90 minutes. There are a lot of Cosmos players beginning to feel the pressure. Hana Moop. Oh, that's Ngube has just come on.
Yeah.
Immediately into the wars.
But the point you...
Now, this is, sorry to interrupt you, Inki Masuku, who's got the first goal of the game tonight. It was set up for him from Oizu and easily tucked away. Masuku's second of the season, by the way, former Bombela United player. He's 32 years old, but he's certainly got some pace about him.
I was saying the point that you made about maybe Cosmos struggling eventually, I think it's a very, very valid point. First, of course, the temper of the game. Sometimes you don't feel it as a player. Only when it kicks in that you feel, hey, I've been killing myself here. I mean, the width or the size of the pitch is one area, but the tempo with which Baroka are playing, as you can see right now, I think they finally found a little bit of rhythm, Baroka. They're beginning to pile the pressure, and if you're going to play without the ball for that long, Cosmos players, they will wear down.
Well, it is a magnificent stadium, this Peter Mokaba Stadium, built for the World Cup. Of course, they had the Cup final here when SuperSport beat Orlando Pirates 3-2, 2016, 3 years ago now. Played the final here. This year, the final is again going to a neutral venue. Still to be decided, but there are quite a lot of rumors going around
already.
It's going to be in one of the provincial capitals. I'll leave you to work it out.
There's one that really is dominated, which people are beginning to feel like, no, it's too much now.
Where you're talking Durban?
Yes.
Don't worry about Durban. Come inland. Now here's Dickens, the pie again, the skipper. What a game he's having tonight. It's a real captain's innings, as they would say in cricket, from Lebai. Leading by example, getting in vital tackles. He's gone up front for set pieces and caused a bit of trouble as well.
Reads the game well, times his tackles to perfection. But once again, the issue of fatigue is, for me, should be what should concern the Cosmos boss and coach.
Baroka, by the way, have never been knocked out in the first round of the Nedbank Cup. This is the 5th time they're participating in the tournament. Ndatsane delivers this. That should be a corner. No way through for Semenya, but throw in over on the far side. Skipper of the opposing team, or senior player, I should say. Ndatsane is the skipper. Semenya gets the touch in, wins the ball back. And another Cosmos player down on the ground, feeling the effects here. Looking for a little bit of respite. Barocca are not going to allow it. Marubanya forward. Khuchani. Here comes the cross in. Omokuru with the clearing header. And if they're clever now, they'll just bang this into touch, which is exactly what Ohizu does. And some treatment now to be brought on. And, well, Masuku is the man who's struggling. Feeling his knee. This was the challenge from Semenya, but there's no real impact on him. I think very good opportunity just to rest those lungs.
Very constant look from Prajay, and alongside him is Caesar Lamini, former Swaziland international.
Former Swaziland captain, you should add, William. Good save.
From his own player.
Yeah.
That's what made it a little bit...
That ball was out of play. It'd be Barocca throw-in on the far side.
He obviously says he didn't see it because he had to react to it. I mean, if it's coming from your defender, you are sometimes caught a little bit flat-footed as a goalkeeper.
Madubanya. Ndatsane has played a little further back tonight. Khuchani. Chase inside. Khuchani gets it square, but it's into the side netting. This was the earlier chance, the miscue there. Attempted clearance, and the keeper did well to also clear it away, not in front of his own goal, but out wide.
But I thought, you know, regardless that it came from his own defender, it wasn't flying past him for him to actually push it away. I think he had the opportunity to catch it. But hey, a save is a save.
Well, Barocca have had a lion's share of possession, but are they going to get something for it?
If they continue like this, Marcus, I think, yes, there's a big chance they'll do so, because now Cosmos are just being pushed further back. They can't come out. And when that happens, listen, it doesn't give you enough time to recover. You just clear, and a few steps forwards, you are forced to retreat again.
Knocking on the edge of the area, but still not getting through. It's a stout defensive performance needed now by Jomo Cosmos. There'll be a lot of time still that they've got to hold out here against Barocca. And of course, the more you drop back, the more the chances are that Barocca are going to break through. Ndatsane straight at the goalkeeper, and he's going to take his time about getting this back into play.
Earlier on, I said maybe Barocca are looking a bit desperate in the way that they make those attempts, but once you start seeing the team retreating that far back, and then there's a big chance, because some of the shots obviously can take a deflection from the defenders or even the strikers to end up in the back of the net. So this time around, I think it makes a lot of sense for Barocca to start pumping those balls even from just all the ranges. They're sitting too deep.
This will be a first run out in Barocca colours for Orebotse Mongai. As on the bench for the game against Cape Town City. So they're using the opportunity to get a couple more fringe players some vital playing time. In the meantime, Cosmos, and again some cramping in the center circle. Free kick here, and an opportunity to get that stretcher back out again. It's becoming a bit of a war zone. Mbokoma. Now, is that Ngube, who came on earlier and got an immediate knock? Difficult to see the number from here. This looks like cramp, William.
Yeah. Good play, Dwaba.
Oh, it's the Nigerian Ohizu. Set up the goal and looked impressive in the first half. I think he's also a player who's really come through the amateur ranks. Didn't play for anyone significant back home in Nigeria either. He's obviously a talent, come to South Africa to seek fame and fortune, so you wouldn't expect that he'd be able to keep up the impressive performance that he showed in the first half. Cosmos have made just the one change so far, so he's got a little bit up his sleeve, Jomo Sono. So down to 10 for the moment are Cosmos. Masuka's first touch a little heavy.
And in cases like this, Christian, the only best way to go about it, you know that you're not going to be pushing too much forward, is to try and keep a little bit of ball possession.
Now Dickens, flag stays down. Oh, this was a great chance, and the keeper has done magnificently there. Wonderful opportunity for Baroka to get themselves back in the game. I think the linesman was a little bit behind play, to be honest. It might well have been offside.
No, there was a defender on the far side that I think hit him onside. Yes, might have been just about.
Well, we mentioned earlier Cosmos might be ruining one or two missed chances. It's certainly the case for Baroka. With under 20 minutes remaining now in this Nedbank Cup first round tie.
It's a long time.
Ball goes over the top here. Let's just have a look at this opportunity, and Dickens doing oh so well. You were right about the offside, William. Player on the far side playing on. And Saudi, well, with the talent that he's got and the experience he's picked up this season, really should have pulled that trigger a little bit earlier.
That's what it looks like, and I'll agree with you. But also, if you are in front of a goalkeeper that is coming and the goalkeeper is late, he's sure to go down at some stage, and that little thing does it. And you know it's not going to go too far, but at least you got the momentum to go past Joe, jump over the goalkeeper and still finish it.
Well, they'll know they've been in a real battle, Cosmos. Can they make it to the draw on Thursday? They've got Bombela United at home in the NFD on Sunday afternoon, so there's plenty of time to recover. Then they go to Cape Town. That game against Bombela United, of course, is at Cosmos's home ground, the Makolong Stadium in Tembisa. They share that with Highlands Park. As William mentioned earlier, they've played in Germiston. They've been all over the place. Tokoza, Vosloorus.
Yes. Remember the first game I played, my debut game for Kaizer Chiefs? It was at the Tokoza Stadium.
I used to pack them in those days.
Oh man, oh man.
What was the score? That was your debut, was it?
Yes.
And the score?
2-2.
You let in 2 goals on your debut? No ways.
You know what was a little bit of a comfort to me is that the previous season in that very stadium, Cosmos beats Chiefs by 5 goals to 1 or 2. And that was the last game Joe Frickleton was able to coach. In fact,
I think he had to leave in the boot of a car.
Yes. So you can imagine the pressure that was I was facing for your debut, going to where Chiefs lost.
And who scored the goals?
Black Sunday,
Yeah.
Masakela, and then we're leading 2-1. And Webster the Chaba comes with a decent run, overlapping run, and I had to come out basically because it was 1v1, and then he just puts it across. And guess who's in the center of the box? Brajay himself.
Oh, well.
You know, when there's he's obviously coming out here.
Well, Izu will be the second man to go off for Cosmos in today's encounter. And this is Jomo's youngest son, Matsilele Sono, carries the name of his dad and, of course, his illustrious grandfather as well.
Because you can see they needed to freshen the legs up front because they're chasing quite a bit. It's very exhausting, and by introducing a few fresh legs, maybe they might just hold the game a little bit.
Barocca now, the chance to equalize wide. It's going to be a goal kick.
"15 minutes to go. Still a long time. But can Cosmos hold? Is the big question now.
The young Sono, by the way, is 26 years old now. Been at Cosmos for 8 seasons. And he did play a little in the PSL in the 2 previous times that Cosmos were in the top flight. So he'll be amongst the more experienced players on the park now with some 15 minutes to go. Cosmos's goal came on 30 minutes. You had an hour since then. Barocca be knocking on the door. Cosmos are not letting them in just yet. And at Dobsonville, it's still Maccabi 0, the Magic 0 in the other of the last 2 Nedbank Cup first round fixtures. Datsane onto the edge of the area. That run from Semenya, but the pass a little too strong. AmaZulu are now 2-0 ahead against Sundowns. Ovidi Karuru has scored the second, and it looks as if that year-long unbeaten run in the league for Mamelodi Sundowns might well be coming to an end. Their first possible defeat in the league this season, and remember, they last lost a league match in South African football towards the end of 2017. We certainly took the wrong turn off on the highway.
Hey, you know what? We got the excitement levels. We don't have a crowd, but I can imagine the Queens Olympic Stadium. It must be packed to the rafters. And the noise of AmaZulu winning.
It's at Loftus, sir.
Oh, sorry, excuse me. Yes. But still, you know, it's definitely, we took the wrong turn completely. But now to think that, I'm thinking it looks so easy for AmaZulu. I'm thinking in my mind, surely they must be playing at home.
Don't forget the Nedbank Cup draw on Thursday, and then on Sunday is that double-header rugby competition. The Super Rugby teams, the Sharks, Bulls, Lions, Stormers, they're playing against each other in a warm-up tournament live on SuperSport, and they're all wearing jerseys inspired by Marvel superheroes. William Shongwe has already bought his jersey. He is Superman. Or Captain America. Captain Swaziland, they say. That's on Sunday, live on your World of Champions, a good precursor to the Super Rugby season. And the draw, of course, the Nedbank Cup draw Thursday night.
Do they have your size?
They don't, luckily.
So...
But if they did, I'd be Hulk.
Well, will the band inspire Barocca into a comeback here? Stay with us.
Time's running out now. Cosmos must sense that if they can just hold out now, if they can maybe go a little more defensive, well, they're going to have to, because there's so many players walking around now. Hold their lines, keep their discipline, and frustrate Barocca. They could yet come away with the victory here. Fouls given away. Dickens brought down by Umokoro, and he's going to go into the book as well. Only the second match for the Nigerian defender, who's joined from Mbabane Swallows.
He looks fit, he looks conditioned, he looks still pretty much in the game.
And as you mentioned, he played in the African Confederation Cup group phase. We had a few of those games on Supersport last year. A chance to see him in action there. 28 fouls in this match, yet it's not been a nasty encounter. Now Barocca, Dickens, Ndatsane. Looks as if the skipper has pulled rank. He will be taking it. Well, the night is now turning a little grim for Barocca. And this very poor home record at the Peter Mokaba Stadium, and indeed the smaller stadium just behind us here, continues tonight for this Limpopo side. Barocca's last home victory here was against Wits in the Telkom knockout. In the league, they've won once. Only win in the league here for Barocca this season was against Cape Town City right at the beginning of the campaign.
Move does great work to provide covering defense once Mukoro was beaten there.
So another set piece, another corner. Barocca's fourth of the game. Opportunity as time begins to tick away. Keeper gets a little touch, hangs up in the air again. Another touch from Chibwe, and he's under more pressure. Grabs it this time. Desperate goalkeeping. He was all over the place. Gets a little pat on the back from Guy as well to say, well done, keep us in the game. He's also feeling the effects. Little touch there to punch it away. Had to get up off the deck, back in again, another punch away. It's like volleyball.
Unfortunately, that for me, maybe with the second ball particularly, I saw with the first one, he was out of reach. He needed to clap it. But the second one, he needed to punch it away to get a little bit of distance, but it still clapped it. That's why it didn't go too far. Total different scenario in this time around. It is Cosmos. It's on the Cosmos defensive side that there's a high level of activity, explaining the very point that we've been making throughout the second half, that they are under a lot of pressure.
And of course, the one way to deal with it is these regular stops. Take the momentum away from Barocca, frustrate them now even further. Chibwe might well have got a bit of a knock. Not so much there wasn't really much pressure on him. He was back in amongst a pile of players here.
That was one, but he had to get up immediately. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Once he clapped that ball away, I thought he was going to try and retreat and try to regain his position in goal. But it's just stood there, basically feeling the impact of the contact there. He was hoping that maybe the whistle will go. But he still needed to exert himself further by picking it up in the air. Not a bad performance so far. Clearing to nowhere. Semenya drives it into the box. It's being headed out, but to where? Nowhere once again.
Oh, Barocca knocking and knocking and knocking, and still nothing to show for it. Gebhardt with a left-footed effort, well wide of goal.
And look at how high he was. Basically explaining once further the situation that Barocca are experiencing here, pushing Cosmos further and further back, meaning that even the defenders as well. We saw Semenya also pushing forward on a number of occasions. It's an open field there for Barocca to be able to exploit, but they haven't been able to do so.
Khujani over the halfway line come Barocca. Everyone except for the goalkeeper and for Makume are in the Cosmos half.
Exceptional Lebai. He stood like a rock in that center of defense, just snapping up all the possible moves, and also when they're trying to come up with combinations, he reads it well, but also if it's played across from a high ball, he's always the first man to get to it. Maybe a moment for Barocca to be able to look back and say, you know, do we really need to push for this Nedbank Cup? I think our real bread and butter is trying to survive in the league. We saw Cape Town City when they're competing in the MTN8, they struggled badly, they were at the rock bottom. And once they were out, once they won it and once they were knocked out of the Telkom, they recovered, they started picking up points, and now sitting comfortable in the top 8. And Barocca, I'm sure, also they try and push for the Telkom.
Masuku's going to shoot, blocked. Well, that's a good point you make. The curse of the cup, I think, is growing. Free State Stars, Nedbank Cup winners at the end of last season.
Nowhere.
This season, as you say, nowhere. Morocco Swallows, you remember, won the MTN8 and then won nothing else after that, and plummeted rather rapidly from the top of the pile right down to the bottom.
And I'm sure the list of situations of that nature that would have seen in the PSL is can be documented. There's a whole lot more situations that we
Sono plays the ball into the middle, and that could well have been number 2. Masuku missing on a chance to finish this game off. But there are 3.5 minutes plus stoppage time left.
Great ball played from the set piece, and very unlucky. I thought he did exceptionally. He got better of the defenders, got ahead of him, stretched his leg, maybe a possibly top poke. All he needed was just to find a little bit of direction to get it right.
Here they come, Cosmos looking for number 2 as Barocca push forward. They're always going to leave a few gaps. Tired effort from Masuku, trying to cut inside without much conviction. Dickens at the far end giving chase. Look how fit he looks in comparison to the Cosmos players.
And of course, after running so much, doesn't have enough to be able to do or make good use of the ball.
Well, those supporters have made the trip up the N1 from Johannesburg to come and back Cosmos here. And, well, they are going to get full value for their money if their side can hold out.
I don't know how old he is, the man with the season #1 Cosmos support there. He's been there forever, Mark Lesson.
He was probably there for your debut.
No, not for that one at least. Wow, what's Cosmo?
Yeah, they go. Chance to finish it off, surely. Keeper's out. Still a chance. Keeper comes back. The ball is loose. Masuku, heavy first touch. My word, it could have been over there. Just a frown from Coach Sono. Well, Barocca with 90 seconds now before we go into stoppage time.
Question, how much time remaining, or how much additional time is there?
We should be told at any second now by the fourth official, who would have got the communication from the referee.
Some of the Cosmos players still making their way back from that action that they had trying to chase for that ball. That is just how tired they are.
This will just take a bit of the time away. Mazia is coming on for Mbokoma, the former Chippa United player. And the fourth official encouraging Mbokoma to leave quicker than perhaps he would like. Silas Mazia, 22-year-old, first from Magasi and then second season now with Cosmos. We are in stoppage time here at the Peter Mokaba Stadium right now.
And still,
we need to know how much is going to be added on.
He does well to get past the goalkeeper, but the angle with which he pushes it, too wide for him to finish at the same time. He still needed to bring it under control.
Ngube had the opportunity to add his name to Masuku's for tomorrow's headlines. So we can confirm 4 minutes have been added on, and we've already had one thereof. So 3 minutes for Barocca to try and turn this around.
And be reminded, by the way, that Chippa United scored around this time of the game against Mamelodi Sundowns to win, to go to the next round.
Yeah, come Barocca now on the edge. And shot goes wide. Disappointment.
Shot is good. Power is excellent.
Power was good. The accuracy from Mongai, disappointing. 2 minutes now gone of those 4. Great rear guard action here from Jomo Cosmos. Plus still looking for opportunities on the counter. And I suppose the best form of defense is to keep that ball down in the Barocca half of the field. Khujani in picture. He came on at half time. Well, keeper is going to waste a little more time. I don't think this is the appropriate time, though, with 90 seconds left.
But this could be a situation whereby he's really feeling the pain.
Let's just have a look at what happened to him earlier on. There were a couple of high balls that he had to deal with, got involved there, and a bit of a knock. He's already had treatment once on that. Big clearance. Guy helps it forward. It's Mdatsane who is stripped of the ball. So Cosmos anywhere will do now. They can just hold on to possession all the way back to the goalkeeper. He's going to take his time. He's going to be under a bit of pressure. The clock, well, that'll come to 4 minutes in a moment or so. But remember, there'll be a little bit more time added on now for that stoppage involving Chibwe. Ngube with a touch. Oh, a little slip from Semenya. Sono might well have held it there. Instead, he's turned possession over. That's a little silly. Best policy there was just to keep the ball. Instead, he turns it inside and he gives it away. Not clever at all. The lesson could have been a lot harsher than it turned out in the end. Now the possession is turned over again. These Cosmos players showing a little naivety in these closing stages. You really need to sit on the ball and not give possession away. Dickens offside. That'll buy them some time. Mr. Nzanzeka looks at his watch. Are we on the cusp of yet another NFD team beating top-flight opposition? Assistant coach Matsimela Toka there. He looks beside himself with anger.
But also, if you look at Dickens, he had no business getting involved with the ball. Clearly, he was coming from an offside position. So that, for me, is another point that maybe these young stars can grow quickly. These are desperate times and needing just about every possible brain power to use every advantage possible. Position given very cheaply.
Still we continue. Now 5.5 minutes, but Cosmos have a free kick and they really got to engineer now keeping possession. Need to move some players closer to the ball.
Shut the back door. Build a wall, Projay seems to be saying.
Instead, there are 4 players who've moved forward here into the attack. Well, you never know, it might deliver a second goal. Referee's looking at his watch. He's not watching the play, Mr. Nzanzeka. That surely means full time. Jomo, Cosmos are into the next round. They revive some of the glory days of the past. One of the venerable names of South African football advances in the Nedbank Cup. Smiles all round here. Celebrations with the goalkeeper as well. What a night for Jomo Sono and for his young Cosmos team. Baroka, yet another top-flight team out of the Cup, just a couple of months after winning the Telkom knockout.
The Cup of Dreams, it is called, not for nothing. These are some of the reasons why it is called. A chance for Jomo Cosmos now to really build their story going forward. Maybe a recovery in their league performances as well, to start catching up with the log, and as far as any chance of them ending up in that playoffs of players. Very disappointing. Here, some of the Baroka players are obviously in the hope that they're going to build up another run, going into another exciting round into the final. That wasn't to be, but for Cosmos, it's a great story.
Wonderful night for a side who are battling in the NFD, for Jomo Sono, who's done it all, of course, as a player and as a coach in the past, and who now gets another opportunity perhaps to take on the big guns. And we look forward to seeing who Cosmos get in the next round, and hopefully there'll be a dream tie for Sono and his young men against one of the top clubs in the Nedbank Cup. That'll be up on Thursday. Here we can confirm the final score before Carol talks to all the protagonists. It's Masuku with tonight's winner. It's Cosmos who advance 1-0 winners over Baroka.